Becoming an F1 driver is so difficult that it's remarkable that we even have those who finally make it to the sport. Apart from all the skills, fitness and endurance, money is perhaps the most important of them all. You either need funding from sponsors or, like many in the sport today, your dad to be spending millions of dollars to help you jump the ladders to get a seat in F1. Important skills of an F1 driver. Formula 1 drivers are without a doubt some of the fittest athletes in the world. From reflexes to body weight, everything makes a whole lot of difference. Apart from skills to drive the car and learn how to maneuver it in the wet, F1 drivers have to keep their body weight in balance as it directly impacts the performance of their car. Their endurance and concentration should be second to none. And how could they compromise on their reflexes? Reflexes are not only crucial when it comes to getting a head start when the lights go off, but they're also important when drivers have to make a quick move to get out of a nasty situation. The prime example of it was the recent insane save by Isaac Hadjar. His quick reflexes saved him and the other driver from what could have been a nasty collision. That's how important they are. And if you ever had the chance to witness the training sessions of an F1 driver, they train their neck like their life depends on it, and it literally does. The G-force in the car should not be tackled otherwise. Carlos Sainz's boss learned it the hard way. You do not want to do it to an F1 driver. The exhilarating sport of Formula 1 dates back to the 1920s, when only rich men gathered to show their fancy cars and raced as a hobby. It was not until 1946 that standardized rules were introduced and the first ever Turing Grand Prix took place. Money started flowing into the sport, and it started growing when new tracks being introduced with the likes of Silverstone and Monaco. Rear-engine cars were introduced in the late 1950s. However, the world of glamour and flashy cars soon turned very dark, with drivers getting involved in accidents leading to their deaths. That led to an increase in the safety standards, and the FIA kept introducing different regulations to make the sport as safe as it could be. It did impact the thrill a bit, but the overall impact was positive. However, entry into the sport continued to be dominated by the rich, and many names are either sons of billionaires or have their background in the sport. The expensive ladder of an F1 career. The first step for any young driver is karting, and this is not something anyone can afford. It could cost anywhere from $90,000 to $100,000 per year for you to start karting, where you learn all the basics that are required to be mastered before going up the ladder to Formula 4. There, the cost increases almost 5 times as the karts are more powerful and you would have to travel longer distances. The next step is Formula Renault, more famously known as Formula 3, where the engineering required is more advanced, increasing the cost to approximately $800,000 per year. Before making it into the big-time league, the last step is to make your name in Formula 2, which can cost around $1 million. This brings an average investment of around $5 to $10 million from karting to Formula 1. However, after making all the investments, it's still not certain for you to get a seat in F1, as we've seen it happen with many talented drivers. This seems to be something not an average person can afford. You need to be funded. In the case of Lewis Hamilton, his talent was identified at a very young age by McLaren, and he was signed to their young drivers program. It not only got the funding part covered for him, but he also had an opportunity to hone his skills from the best and eventually made his way into Formula 1. Funding can also come if your dad's a billionaire. Daddy Stroll has made sure to invest in all the teams that his son was involved in. And when it came to driving in one of the F1 teams, his dad knew he had to invest a hefty amount in one of the teams, so he just decided to buy one. Now, despite Lance getting dominated by his teammates, he's not going anywhere because his dad is the boss, and he believes that his son has gone through so many struggles ever since he was a child that he's eventually going to win the World Championship one day. And the probability is that day might never come. Using the power of social media. It's clear that you need an extraordinary amount of money to enter the world of motorsports, with no surety of ever making it into Formula 1. Does it leave any hope for people from poor backgrounds? Well, a little bit, especially with the rise of social media today. The funding part can be covered if you have a big social media presence. This can help you get sponsors and you attract eyeballs for them. Jimmy Broadbent is a racing driver who started his YouTube channel, and now he has more than 900,000 followers. This opens a way for up-and-coming drivers to put their content related to real-life racing and others on social media and build their fan base. Of course, these things are easier said than done, but the power of social media presence cannot be ignored, especially if you don't have anyone to fund you in a sport that's heavily dominated by the rich. Now, this can only be done if you're a very talented driver. People would want to watch you if you truly have something great to offer. Sponsors are going to back you up when they see that you're attracting eyeballs and have their attention because of your talent. For that, you must be as close to perfect as you can possibly be, because there are big guns in the sport who would crush you the second you slip. The discipline, endurance and skills, everything needs to be top notch. Look at what happened to Nick de Vries when he got an F1 seat. Before finally making it to F1, he won everything he could. He won Formula 2 in 2019 and back-to-back championships in Formula E from 2020 to 21. He waited for his chance to get a seat in F1 and he eventually got a seat in the 2023 season for AlphaTauri. His F1 career lasted for 6 months and he was released after the 10th race of the season and was replaced by Daniel Ricciardo. This is how cruel this sport can be sometimes. Even after winning the International Karting Championship, Formula 2, Formula E, he was kicked out of F1 just after 10 races. The same also happened to the son of the greatest driver of all time, Mick Schumacher. Despite coming from a rich background, he had a very successful career and winning the Formula 2 Championship in 2020. He could not for long in Formula 1. He competed in Haas for 2 years and got replaced by Nico Hülkenberg, who's been incredible ever since he made his comeback in F1. Formula 1 is fiercely competitive and you need money to get on the track that may or may not eventually lead you to F1. If your dad can buy a whole team, well, that's a completely different story. But if that's not the case, you need to showcase your skills at the highest level and be dedicated to being as perfect as possible to have your dream of becoming an F1 driver come true. And if you are lucky, you can get a seat in one of the top teams in the sport and win a world championship, the probability of which is almost zero.